are there?
We
Wait,
got two.
what new Ian is there?
Ian Busat, Ian Meyer.
When did you get here, Ian?
I've been here. I was here before
Okay.
other Ian.
Okay. Oh, I apologize.
Put
Oh,
him
do I
on
have
there.
multiple?
Put
Do I
him
have
on
multiple
there.
Ians? Oh, I do. Okay. All right. I got you.
Spin that sucker, Pat.
Okay. I don't actually know where the spin button is.
You just click it in the
Shuffle
middle.
it up.
You click it or press Control.
You guys ready? I don't know if you're ready.
Damn.
Oh.
Aaron
No
Rankin.
way! No way! What did I win?
Let's
The
go,
Let's
third
go,
one?
Aaron. What did I win?
No way!
Yeah.
Bro, this is
go,
1 million.
Oh,
Let's
Aaron.
go.
Aaron, you're actually the first loser. We're gonna click it all the way through and see who's standing last.
Darn it!
No, I'm just kidding. You won. Send me
What
your text me your cash out. I'll send you over $100.
No way! I
All
really
right,
am the chosen one.
let's get this party started here. Pat, I can share my
Next week,
screen.
50, right?
You should
Boom.
be able to. Yep.
Can everybody see that? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Everybody can see the screen? Can you see me? Or no?
Good.
Sorry, you didn't even see me. All right. Well, welcome to the training. Today, we're going to go over transitions, mainly transition into the home, but then also we'll carry on that depending on how long the training goes. But a little bit about me, I'll go real quick. My name is Brad Allphin. I've been doing this since 2009, so 15 years. I always tell people my best sale was selling my wife. I got 4 wonderful kids. In college, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I was in a college class, and they talked about how the average business graduate at that time was making 36 grand. And I said, that's not going to work in life. So I knocked for a lot of summers with the mentality to knock doors to own doors. So every single day, that was my goals. That was my reason. That was my why is I wanted those doors to pay me forever. So right now we own 74 doors between commercial, residential, and short-term rentals. Um, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. So make sure you have a solid reason to do it. I know there's like 40 something people on here right now. I tell everybody, like, we don't want this job to be forever for you. We want your dreams and goals and everything to be accomplished. So have your concrete whys and attack it. So also, I've had a few guys ask about extra training, extra help, where they should go. So if you look and you get on your Copilot, we have our training center. These are the videos we made. They're pretty good. But at the bottom, if you go to launch online training, it'll take you to this Safe Streets page. It's got a lot of stuff that you probably don't care about. Safe Streets talk. Some of it's good. It has tech training, things like that. But what I really want you to focus on is the alarms door-to-door U advanced selling. So you click on door-to-door U, it'll take you to this page over here, door-to-door university. If you guys get on Google right now, Derek Crapo, he was our top first year, I don't know how many years ago. He really wanted to do door-to-door U. And so I split the cost with him and it was good stuff. But if you get on right now and try to buy door-to-door university, it's $1,700 for a single user. And you have it all right here. Some of it, like I said, is pretty self-explanatory stuff, but I think it will help you learn a lot of the basic things that you're not to where you don't have to learn on the doors. You'll be able to get over a lot of the tips or tricks and problems and hiccups by watching these, learning a mindset, area management, etc. So I just want to make a plug for that because it is pretty dang good. And a lot of times if we don't pay for something, we don't take advantage of it. But if you're a young guy that's hungry, I think Austin's a great example of this. Austin was read the manual, did all the training videos, was asking lots of questions, went on a blitz and sold 8 last week. So in 5 days.
Nine. He did 9.
One of them I think canceled. We weren't going to tell him though. Just kidding. No, he did 9. That's awesome. But for real, I think this is a great resource. Make sure you use it. So going into transitions, quick little story. My first year, I started actually with Vivint Alarms. Actually, it was Apex Alarm. That's how old I am. And I was struggling, went out, knocked on this door, and this wonderful lady came out and she said, "Alarm?" And I was like, "Yeah, alarm." And she's like, we want an alarm. Can you sign me up?" And I was like, "Oh, yes." Walked in the house, sat down and said, "Okay, as far as paying, do you want to do monthly, quarterly, annually? We just need a voided check." And lost her. Like, she went from wanting it to lost her because I didn't take her through the transitions, the soft closes, etc. So, just for all the single guys and even married guys, I always take like a sale, like imagine you're dating a chick. So, I don't know, Ian, he swipes right on this chick on Tinder. Then he takes her on a date. He opens her doors. He tells her jokes. He buys her dinner. He buys her gifts, holds her hand, kisses her, rubs her back. Eventually, that leads to marriage. Okay. He doesn't go from Tinder to marriage. And the same process goes with our sales. You're going to pitch them, door approach, get in the house, walk through paperwork, schedule the tech, welcome call, done with the sale. If you're skipping steps, you can lose it. And at the end of the day, like, you will have sales where they're in a hurry, they're running out the door, and you sign them up. But solidifying that person all the way through those soft closes to where when they get that ad in the mail and they go, "Wait, why am I paying more?" It's not a cancel, it's a question to you. If the technician shows up 5 minutes late, they're not wanting to cancel because they're solidified in their close. So I made this little flow chart. It's pretty ugly, but I was pretty proud of myself. Dan Moser always talks about on ramps and off ramps when you're selling. So you knock the door, and we have our sign system advertising pitch. "Hey, my name's Brad." You put a sign out. We're going to pay for the system. It creates advertisement for us. Yada, yada, yada. Through this pitch, there's off ramps to the product, to the advertising. So you put a sign out. Oh, what happened there? You put a sign out, and then you'll talk about the advertising. What do you get? Well, it creates advertisement for us with neighbors, friends, family. Buy what neighbor, friends, family have. By having the sign out, it creates advertisement for us. They're more likely to call and buy. Go back. Because you're putting the sign out, we're paying for the system. And then you go into the product, outdoor cameras, night vision, etc. All the benefits, features, product. After you do that, though, you got to loop back into this. Okay. So this is the important part that I wanted to go over. A lot of first years, when they're doing this whole presentation, they'll sit here and do this, and we wait. And they're just begging the person to say, "Hey, will you sign me up?" or "What do I need to do next?" Typically, I would say 80% of customers at this point, though, they say, "Can I get a card?" or "Can you come back tomorrow?" or "Come back this evening." Okay. When you fill that, you waited too long to transition. Okay. So you pitch, on ramp, off ramp, explain the system, go back into the pitch, explain the advertising, why it's beneficial to us, why we're doing it. It has to make sense. Sean always does that great ethos, pathos, mythos, whatever training he does. Logically, it has to make sense for him. But then you go back into it, and then you got to get in the home. So today we're going to talk about ways to get in the home. I had a lot of seasoned reps make some videos so we could talk about it. But there's a lot of different ways to get in the home, whether that be the front door, back door, pamphlet, AC, smoke detector, your office in a binder, doorbell, restroom, what can get a drink of water, getting in the house. When I first started years ago, we were very strict about get in the house at all cost. Because if you got in the house, your odds of selling went way up. COVID happened, and I think we got a little lazy because we were like, oh, well, I can actually sign up a person on the doorstep. This is weird. Um, and we're skipping those steps. Okay. I believe the guys that are selling high numbers, they're taking the person through the process and they're getting in the house. So we're going to watch a couple videos of reps and we're going to see what they have. So you can save these videos, make notes. Like I said, this will be on YouTube to where you can see how some of these top salesmen are actually getting in the house, how they're standing, what their demeanor is, etc. So we first got TJ. He's going to pitch us to get in the house with a power outlet. So let's watch this here.
So yeah, we'll do the doorbell camera, and then we'll cover all the doors. So the front door, the back door, and then the door in the garage. And then, like I said, you have the dog, so we'll do the glass break. And then the panel, it kind of depends where we put it, just because it has to be close to a power outlet. Do you use the front door the most or the garage door?
The front door.
The front door, okay. Just because it kind of depends, it has to be close to a power outlet. Do you care if I take a peek so I can show you where we'll put the panel real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, so you have a power outlet right here, or a lot of people, they'll put it in the kitchen or in the hallway. Truthfully, it doesn't really matter because you have it on your phone. So most people don't even use the panel, because you'll do it from your phone when you pull in the driveway or when you're going to bed. So, but just so I can show you on my iPad, just what we're paying for. Do you care if we sit down? I can show you super quick. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah, go ahead, sit down.
All right, so sweet. The video, the mouth is being laggy, I'm being told, but could everybody hear that okay?
Yeah, I could hear it fine.
Okay, perfect. Couple things I noticed right off the bat on TJ there, okay? His demeanor from the get-go, leaning against the house. Very non-threatening, very, hey, no big deal, etc. Okay. When he walked in the house, he ducked his head and went in. I wouldn't recommend putting the panel where the window is, but other than that, I loved it. Any season rep, notice anything they want to pitch in on?
I mean,
All right.
you can just see right away, right? Like his pacing sets the conversation and she's waiting for the gaps, right? But he's filling them. And it's the only time he's letting her, the homeowner speak up is like, is that cool? I'll sit down here. Right.
Yep.
And he's already doing it. So she's saying yes. And it's not pausing at the door. Maybe I could come in. And then
Yeah.
waiting, right? He's setting the tone and the pace, and that's what keeps it moving.
Yep. So I love that. Thank you, Brad. I wish you would have run the raffle because that was such a great comment. Like we were saying, the on-ramp, you're going to get to a point where you've pitched them, they understand it, etc. At that point, get in the house. I don't care how you get in the house, but get in the house. Nathan Salyer, he sells, oh, that's not going. Sells a couple hundred every year. Finances the heck out of people in shorts in the winter. This is how he does it.
That's where most break-ins happens through a door. And so what most of your neighbors have is about 2 or 3 doors. How many do you guys have? Great. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll show you how these work. Everybody's door is a little bit different. They fit a little bit differently. What you'll see is we'll put a sensor on the frame there, and then there'll be a little tiny chip on the, actually, you mind if I sit right there? I can show you real quick, on the inside of the door. And then when you close it, that's when you'll hear that sound when the door opens and closes. Beep, beep, front door, beep, beep, back door. And that way you know exactly when somebody's coming in and where they're coming. Now, the back door is not a sliding, a French, any Audi. Is the door frame, does it open on the left side or the right side? Is it like pretty flush with the door, or does it kind of stick out a little bit? Actually, you mind if I just check real quick? Okay, let's.
Beautiful. I think we should call that the belly button close. Is your back door an innie or an outie? Nate, what I noticed there is he was very confident. I love this entry because you're not even asking to get in. You're reaching your hand up, you're touching the door frame, you walk in and you're inviting them into their house saying, here, let me show you right here. Very good. All right, Jackson Powell, another 200 account rep. Here he
Yeah,
is.
so that's what we'll do is we'll do the alarm. Like I said, we cover the doors, and then we'll do a motion sensor. We take care of all the upfront costs. We just have you guys keep it connected. That's really it. That's how you do. As far as price, my boss actually makes me keep my ops in a binder. You don't mind what I can do real quick? I can just step in right there for you, and I can show you how this works. I'll step in right there if that's okay. All right. Sweet. Yeah. So what we do, because yeah, you were saying it was the doors and then motion sensor.
Oops, I messed it up.
Mhm.
Maybe a smoke detector. Okay. I'll just pull up this house real quick. Do you have Frank so I can sit down with you? Maybe
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
All right. Jackson, are you on right now? He might not be. Like same idea. Confident, walked in.
I am on. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
on. I'm on my
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah, talk to us, Jackson. Is that how you typically do it? What did you notice? Why do you like that, etc.?
Yeah, so I will use that when someone is not giving me very much, like body language. And so that's more kind of like a Hail Mary, just to, hey, we need to move this cell forward, so I'll just step in. Versus I like to use the door contact approach, kind of like Nathan did. But yeah, I like that one. So just because it's a good way to put a fork in the road, make the customer tell you early on, yeah, are we doing this or are we not doing this?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I'll keep moving. Greg, I'm gonna have you talk on this one because this is a close I've never used and I loved it. So here we go, Greg.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna do the camera on the driveway like you wanted, and then one right here on the front door. The way that these cameras work is they wire up for power. That one over there on the garage is gonna tie into the outlet. This one though, we use the chime box in the inside. And do you know on your house what brand of chime box you have?
I do not.
You're not sure? Okay, it'll say on it, and it's in there. Tell you what, do you mind if we just take a look real quick? It's just right in here. Should be right around here. Perfect. It's right up here on the side. So that one's a new tone. And that one will work perfect. It's got 2 wires that go into the doorbell. So we'll pop that on there and then it'll be powered up so you don't have to charge it. So perfect.
That's cool.
I love that one. Greg, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
What percentage of entries do you use the doorbell to get in? And explain why you use it, why you like it, etc.
I would say 70%
70.
that I use. So as long as they have a doorbell, that's my go-to every time. I do that one actually more than panel, even if they have an alarm. The reason I like it, I just don't think many people use it. So if you think of other reps, they've obviously knocked on all these doors. If you can think of a transition that no one else has used, it's going to be easier to get in. And for me, it just flows so well. If they have a Ring camera or Arlo or something that's wireless, and you can use this to get in, but then you build so much value that it's wired, they don't have to charge it. So you probably just upped your sell 10% closer to closing that just because of your transition, because you just built a ton of value through it. So that's why I like it, and it's just a smooth way for me to get in from my transitions.
Yeah, I loved just watching you, the confidence you're pointing down the road. You ducked your head, you walked in. No one's saying no to that. It's also very logical. Like you're talking about a doorbell, and then let me make sure it'll work on your house. Boom, you're in, and then you're in the house. Beautiful. All right, here's another Jackson. This is his door sensor one.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll do that outdoor camera over by your car and cover your driveway. And then we do that alarm system as well, because cameras don't call the cops. So that's why we do the alarm system. Have you guys ever had an alarm before?
No.
No. Okay, so it'll be your first time. The first thing that we do is we do door sensors over every entry point into your home. If someone opens your door and the alarm's on, that door sensor sets the alarm off. And so, yeah, like I said, we cover every entry point. What we do is we take 2 little white blocks. We take this and we put the other side of your door. One goes on the door, one goes on the door frame, and just kind of sit. If you don't mind, I'll just step in real quick and show you actually. We'll put one like right here, and then the other will go right here. And so when those 2 doors, when the door opens or closes, the sensors will separate. And that's how we know someone's in your house, So we cover that one. And then we do the back door as well. Your back door, is it like this one or is it a little different?
Yeah, I like this one.
Okay, I'll just take a quick look real quick. You mind?
All right, beautiful. So both he and Nathan transitioned from the front door to the back door. Okay. Later we'll talk about then your transitions to walk through the house. But same thing. Like your goal is get in the house. Do we really care that the customer knows that a sensor goes right here? No. But it just makes sense logically they're getting in. All right, Cole, Cole's up next. Oh, sorry, wrong keyboard.
So perfect. Like I was saying, we'll make sure to take care of the outside of your home with the cameras and everything. But the most important thing when your neighbors see our blue ADT sign is we want them to know that we'll protect the inside of their homes just as much as the outside. Most things that we take care of up front, and most homes already have them, are door sensors. If you actually look right here, I can just show you real quick. There's usually like an incision in the door. This is from a previous system. What we do now, actually, I'll just step right there and just show you. We're going to put a contact on the main frame and then one on the other side of this door here. That way, when your front door opens and closes, it's going to say front door open, back door open. It'll let you know what's going on around your home. When the system's turned on, if the connection separates and it's not you guys, obviously it's going to call the police. Awesome, sweet. So like I was saying, we're going to make sure to take care of the outside of the property with those cameras. Big, most important thing with us is the sign. So for you helping us with that today, not only are we going to help you with those cameras, like we mentioned, we're going to do the inside service. A lot of alarms and a lot of monitoring systems do the doors and windows, but we want to make sure to go the extra mile to take care of the whole family. I heard the dog bark a little bit earlier. Big dog, little dog?
Little dog.
Little dog, gotcha. So their family, of course, we want to make sure they're safe and protected. So we're going to get you guys a new smoke detector. It's connected directly to the fire department. So if you're not home, they can't call the fire department. So we'll make sure to take care of that for you so that your family and your home's protected. Real quick with this one, most homes have wired in ones or wireless ones. Do you know if you guys have a wired or a wireless smoke detector?
I don't know.
Yeah. So real quick, you'll either see like a blue button or like a green button on the side. So I'll just show you real quick where we'll put ours because it's a little bit different than what you currently have. Excuse me, I'll just step right there if that's okay. Sweet. So yeah, so you got this one right here. We're going to place ours just a little bit over in this corner so it covers it. So the easiest thing for me when it comes to transitioning to the home is I'll always show them the devices. Most of these homes in the areas that we're in usually either have like an old wired in system. They usually have like an old previous connection for the door sensor. So that's my first. If they don't have that, then we can just easily transition them in by saying, oh yeah, like since this house doesn't have it, it's a little easier if I show you. Mind if I just step right here? Okay, perfect. And then I'll make sure to hold open the door sensor on there so they can actually visualize how the system works and then explain how it's connected and how it's going to work specifically for them. Last thing is when it comes to the smoke detector, it usually helps when it comes to children or if it comes to like important belongings in the house or even their pets. So that's my go-to is the dog or their children, just making sure if there ever is an emergency, their job is to get the family out of the house and our job is to get the fire department, police department, whatever emergency service they need to the house. And this device is going to be the main reason to do that. That's all I got for you.
All right, Cole had an internship tonight, so he wasn't able to be on. But my takeaway from him is he uses his slicks extremely well. Even me watching that, I'm engaged. I'm looking in as he's zooming in, etc. So the smoke detector one actually is pretty dang big because everybody thinks they already have a monitored smoke detector, but explaining the difference and it's a huge value add. So, all right, here's a pitch that's okay, I think. So like I said, most break-ins happen to the door. What happens is a big guy or even a chunky chick like me, they kick it. It puts all the pressure right here. Most doors have white pine. This is a little bit nicer house, so it's solid oak, but they kick it right on the deadbolt, it splits it out. So this is your front door. And then is your house like all the neighbors? You have like 7 doors in the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a slider door, French door, glass door, opens left to right, right to left? What kind of back door?
All of the above.
It's a slider, French door, and glass door? You mind if I take a look real quick? Okay. Oh man, this is a beautiful house. Oh, hey. Is this your daughter? She's a cutie. Beautiful family. Is that the front TV? My wife wants one of those. Those are cool. Anyways, yeah, so this door right here, this is the sliding door. We call these the target door. What happens is a burglar A lot of people think they'll just break the glass and unlock it and come in, which they could, but most of the time they just take a screwdriver right in there, pops it out and does that. So we'll put a special sensor on here, and I see you got another one there, and then any other part in your house. All right, so that's exactly how I do it. I'm a little bit bubbly when I sell. When I'm in the house, I'm looking for something to compliment. Their pictures or TV, their whatever. I would have been playing with that dog. Dan, are you on here? You want to critique me?
His mic isn't working at the moment.
Oh,
So, all right, I got it. I got it to work.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. The main thing, Brad, obviously, because I was trained by Brad, I sell very similarly. But a couple of the things that I think Brad has always done really well, and I try and pull from, is getting the customer to smile. It's like hard not to watch that and listen to that and not kind of have a grin and like have, you know, even if it is a cheesy grin. Brad just does a wonderful job making people smile, and it's proven that when people are smiling, they are more comfortable. And if they're more comfortable, they're going to allow you to transition more and then ultimately close them, and you're more trusting when you do that. So I think that would be the main thing, is just taking away, hey, what are people reacting like when I do my transitions? And maybe try and take note of that. I'm always hounding on guys to record themselves. And I think this is where we could really take what the customer's reactions are and then go, yeah, they're not reacting the way I need them to. Why is that? And then we can go, am I making the customer grin or smile or laugh? You know, and you never know when a person could just have a really bad day, and like, here comes Brad Allphin making them chuckle, and it just totally changes their day, and then it's going to change their behavior. So I think that's the main thing with yours, is that I've always noticed, is you make people feel like happy and make them grin no matter what, and that really changes, I think, the sales. Like, I guess a question to you, Brad: how many sales do you feel? And I know you don't have an exact number, but looking back at the last 3 or 4 years, how many sales do you leave and the customer is not like grinning or happy in some way?
Yeah, no, most of my sales are friends. I probably take too long on some things, but I would say 95% of them they think we're buddies. If I saw them in Walmart, they'd be like, "Oh, that's the alarm guy. That's the alarm guy."
Yeah.
A couple of things I was going to add on mine. I like to try when I'm in an area, especially for a long time. Say you're in a cookie cutter neighborhood, all the homes are the same. This is our house, so most people aren't having 7 doors. My wife was a terrible recorder. But like I said, I try very hard. Is your house just like the neighbors? You got the front door, the back French door, and then the door coming into the garage. Yes. In a lot of states, they'll put the doors where the hinges are on the outside, and those are my bread and butter. Oh yeah, is your house where your door opens out and has the hinges on the outside? And they go, what? Oh, let me show you. You go out and you show them, like, look, your hinge is right here. All it takes is they can take a screwdriver, pop your hinge off, and you can take your whole door off. Oh, whoa. Like I said, you're not trying to scare them, but you're visually picturing, why do we need the alarm? Why is this important? So there's a couple more, guys. Hopefully this isn't boring, but I think it's valuable seeing how people do this. And then we'll get into some questions and a little other things. All right, here's TJ.
So yeah, that's all the equipment that we'll do. And then the old panel that you have in there, is it close to the front door or the garage door?
It's close to our garage door.
And then is it the flip down one? Do you know if is it the push button one?
Yeah, it's like a touch screen.
It's a touch screen. Okay,
Yeah.
do you care if I take a peek at it real quick?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. This one over here.
Yeah.
Oh man, this the T-Rex 4000. This thing is old. No, I'm just kidding. It's it is older though. So, and if you like where this is, we'll just swap it here. Like I said, most people, they'll just use their phone for everything, but it is nice if you have kids getting home off the bus by themselves, they just punch in the code, it'll text you when they get home okay. But my job is really simple. It's just to break it down and show you. And if it makes sense for you, great. You save a ton of money. It'll bring a lot of business our way. And if not, that's fine too. Like these go really quick. But just so I can break it down and show you on the iPad, you can sit down real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally.
Yeah, I love how you transition to the kitchen table. For first years especially, he's asking, is it a flip down touchscreen, left or right? It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it kind of matters if you're going to translate it, but the goal was to get in the house. That was the whole goal. TJ, anything else you want to add on that?
No, it's just asking them questions that they probably don't know the answer to as well. Like, is it the DSC one? Is it the Honeywell one? Was that just here when you moved in? Do you care if I take a peek at it real quick? So
Yep.
you're the alarm guy. So looking at their alarm panel is super normal and natural. Just like the HVAC guy is like, hey, I need to look at your HVAC. Like it's very normal.
Right. And the moment you see them is it a back door, sliding door? Is it a flip down panel? They're gonna hesitate. At that point, duck your head. Here, let me show you. Walk in. Very good. All right, here's Nate again.
We'll cover the upfront cost for those two smart devices that we talked about, that doorbell camera right out front here, and then the outdoor camera in the back. And then we'll customize your system inside. We'll cover all the upfront costs too with our promotion today. Only thing you guys take care of is just to keep the sign out front, be flexible in the timing for the technician, and then keep the alarm connected. And that's the only thing I'd actually pay for. How much is that? Once I get my buying question, I'm going to transition. So how much is that? Yeah, it depends on what you guys need. I actually have a pamphlet that explains it a little bit better. It is freezing out here. You mind if I just step right there and I can show you how this works? Perfect.
Beautiful. Nate, are you on by chance?
Yeah, I'm on.
Hey, do you use the pamphlet, the door most? I love the, hey, it's
Usually
cold
it's
out
the door.
here. Usually the door.
I'll usually use like a it kind of depends. I'll use a combination of, sometimes it's the weather, and sometimes and I'll use that with the pamphlet, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to let I feel your heat coming out of the house. You mind if we step right there and I can show you the rest, and we can keep the heat from going out,
Yeah.
and I'll use that. I'll like add them together, but most of the time I use the door, and that works almost every time.
Yeah, no, I love that. I liked how you use the price, what is normally an objection, as a benefit to continue on. This one I actually would use a lot in Louisiana. Here it is. All right, so like I said, it's very, very simple. You put the sign on, we pay for all the equipment and everything like that. But before I continue, real quick, I drink a lot of water today. My eyes are floating. Can I use the restroom real quick? Thank you. Is it down the hall? Which way is it?
Down the hall and to the
Thank
right.
you. Oh, beautiful family. Oh, wow. Your husband, he must be lucky dude. Yeah, I will use the restroom. I'll use, hey, can I get a drink of water? Because then it's not awkward. Okay. Ian Myers, here we go.
So that's why most of the neighbors have been going with the doorbell camera too. So both cameras are absolutely fantastic. They just never call the cops. So to protect the necessities on the inside, we pay for the alarm to back it up. So have you or your wife ever had an alarm?
We have not. No.
Okay, I got you. I'll show you how ours works. It's super simple. We always start with the front door. So it's easier if I show you. Is this front door open?
Yeah.
Awesome. Shoes on or shoes off?
Shoes off.
Ian was our top first year last year. I loved it. His facial expressions, how he's acting, how he's looking. Ian, talk to us. Is that how you do it 99% of the time?
Yeah, that's pretty much my go-to. I like the door sensor a lot because whenever I transition on the inside, it's just super natural to talk about that piece of equipment, and I can really start to paint the picture, and then that leads straight into my walkthrough. So it feels super natural for myself, but the key is just really just assume your way into the doorstep. Make sure you just duck your head. I love that question, like shoes on, shoes off, because you're not asking like, hey, can I step in? You're saying like, hey, I'm stepping in. Just you want me to step in with my shoes or step in with my shoes off? So,
and people find the shoes on, shoes off very respectful.
Yeah.
I would used to take my shoes off in every house, even if it was trash. And I can't tell you how many times at paperwork, people would be like, hey, thank you for respecting our house. even when it was trash. So loved it. All right, we got Sean is the last one, and then we're going to move on. Sean.
Overview that I built, we'll go over it a little bit better. With your wife that walked just by, you don't have to introduce myself to her real quick. Would that be okay?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's it. Benji, that's literally it. Sean, are you on?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Can you talk to us about that / looping? On the phone earlier, this week we talked a little bit about looping. When somebody does shut you down on no, it's a normal back door. You don't need to see it.
Yep. So when that happens, it's usually because I tell the guys they don't feel like the customer doesn't feel like you're totally credible yet. Like they haven't built that trust yet that they'll shut you down, that you try to get into early. And emotionally, you haven't built enough value, or logically, they don't understand exactly why they need to look at the door. So the reason that you loop is you'll go over your pitch so they understand the pitch, they understand the neighbors you're working with, and then you can build value on the system, features, benefits. And once they feel like you're credible, when you go to get in again, my backup is usually, instead of going to look at the back door, the smoke detector at that point, I've talked long enough that a spouse walked by and I'll ask to introduce myself to them. Because the other thing it'll be is if it's usually, I usually don't get, if I'm stopped by someone, it's because they're the protector. Even if it's a lady, they'll be like, don't want to be the one that let the door-to-door guy into the house, because they're protecting their image in front of the other people in the home. But I'll even bluff it. Like I'll get the person outside and be like, oh, somebody just peeked at me. It's probably, and they're like, oh, that's probably my husband or my wife. Oh, you don't have to introduce myself. And we'll walk up to the door and they're like literally in the back room, but I'll end up walking in with them to go and meet their spouse. And I've already tried to get in, but pulled them out, built value, and I looped, which the looping just means going over everything that you just went over, but doing it a little bit differently and being able to build value once again. And then you need the second way you get in, which for me is introducing myself to the spouse. If not, there's a couple other things, but that's how I'll get in. If I didn't get in with a smoke detector or however else I try to get in.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, one more. What not to do.
Wow. You are hot. Oh my goodness.
My wife didn't know what we were doing at first. And then she was like, you're stupid. But anyways, we want to get in the house. Okay. After you got in the house, you're then going to transition into a walkthrough. And just for time's sake, we're not going to go through all of this, but you're going to walk through it. Why do the walkthrough? You're building value. Then you're transitioning to the paperwork. Is there a place we can sit down? Okay. On the paperwork, I look at every single step of the paperwork as a transition. If the alarm goes off, who do you want us to call next? Okay. Because that's what happens. Reps either didn't get in the house. Once they're in the house, you got to do the walkthrough. I remember my first summer, the first time I got in the house, I walked to the back door, looked at it, and I was like, yeah, that's a sliding glass door. Walked to the front of the house and we went back outside because I didn't know what I was doing. But have your next step. You're looping back through and take the off ramps. You got to take the exits. So do the walkthrough. After the walkthrough, hey, let me just write this down to show you page 0. Is there a place I can sit down? Boom, sit down. And then paperwork. Okay, if the alarm goes off and we can't get a hold of you, who do you want us to call next? Okay, sweet. So let's say you're on a vacation and, well, you wouldn't say that there. Excuse me. For the emergency contact, I'll say, hey, in case your husband's burning bacon, and the alarm goes off, woo, 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 it's going to call you. We need a password. What password would you like? And at this point, people are like, oh, I don't know. I always say, I would recommend not using your dog name. That's what everybody wants to use. If they're in Louisiana, don't do tigers, etc. That's my transition. Okay. For your email, I say, hey, what's your email so I can email this to you? I am transitioning into every single step of the paperwork. I transition to schedule the tech, to finish the paperwork, to do the welcome call, done. So that is literally it. Work on your transitions. Last week, I felt like Greg did a wonderful job of telling you to keep track, keep a journal, etc. If you guys are struggling, let's say you knocked, I don't know, 100 doors in a day and you didn't check a credit. I can promise you, you're not transitioning into the home. Okay. And that's what you need to work on. So we need to keep track of it and work on it. Then once you're in, hey, I got in 5 homes today, but I didn't close anybody. Okay, sweet. We need to work on your paperwork and your transition to the paperwork. If you've checked 18 credits and you haven't closed one, okay, you're losing them somewhere along the process. And it's just a matter of practicing and doing each process. Like I would guess a lot of the seasoned guys never lose anybody over billing or over contract. Okay. And a lot of the first years, man, I got all the way to the billing and I lost them. Okay. So it's just transitioning into that process, learning how to do it, scheduling the tech before billing if you're having an issue with that, etc. So, is there any question? That's what we had as far as the transition. My biggest takeaway, I would say, is watch those guys and study them. All those guys on this that did the videos sell a ton of accounts. So do what they're doing and you'll do the same. It's not special. Like when you look at them, it's like, and that wasn't crazy tricky or anything. It's just having the confidence and moving forward. Any questions before we end here? Pat.
Is that video we can watch
Yes.
on YouTube, a compilation that you?
Yeah,
of,
yep. We'll have this on YouTube by tomorrow. Do you still have the
was it
raffle
like
up, Pat?
That I do.
Hang on. Sorry, Nate, what did you say?
Where's that going to be listed under?
It'll just be on the Evo YouTube page, but we'll share it to you as well.
Okay.
If you missed Greg's last week, I would highly recommend watching it. Greg's was great. Made my bed 3 times this week. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right, Pat, pull that raffle back up. You guys made it to the end. I feel like someone else should win too.
Boom. This is the raffle.
All right. Also, who won the first one? They never.
Aaron.
Aaron, you never text me, man.
He posted it in here. I can get it to you.
Oh, never mind then. I will take care of it in the chat. All right, hit that again, Pat. One last one before we end.
Okay. There. Aaron's gonna win twice. I can feel it.
Here goes.
Is it lagging for everybody else? So slow.
Why did it separate? Oh yeah, that's right. Stockton's still here.
All right, Stockton. Congratulations.
Sweet.
Throw it in the chat or
Sweet.
cash at me. And I'll get those paid right now. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
Aaron's
you.
cat. That's his cash app, right?
Yeah.
Let me pay that real quick.